Miss Catriona Gray. Good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be here. So a lot of people have been looking forward to this panel because obviously it's a very important topic to discuss when we talk about body positivity, which is the role of media. But before we get into that, I just want to ask you, what are your different perceptions of beauty when you were growing up? Like, how did you define beautiful when you were growing up, and what do you think were the things that influenced it?
I grew up as an only child, and I was really close with my mother, just like Sarah. And when you're a little girl, like my mom was my role model, and I used to follow her everywhere. I'd walk around with my little feet in her big high heels, and I think seeing her body type, I mean, she's not a supermodel or anything. She's just a normal woman who's been able to create life, and just seeing that body type, and I just thought she was so beautiful because whenever she smiled, she could make everyone in the room smile. She has that infectious ability to just bring light into a room. So growing up with that, I kind of associated that with beauty, not so much a perfect shape, but more of the feeling that you get from a person.
Catriona, you are in an industry where obviously beauty is an important factor, right? And it's also a very, I would say, very difficult industry to be a part of. They would say not everyone can be a beauty queen because there are certain standards to meet. And when I was having a conversation with you at Wholesome Table, you were telling me about you also feel insecure, right? And there are also people who attack you when you feel insecure because, again, the standards for beauty are just so high. How do you manage the messages, and how do you make sure that you are not defined or your worth is not defined by this?
I feel like everyone has this perception that these beautiful models and artistas and actors and these public figures who always look so well put together don't have any insecurities. Like they don't wake up some days and feel like, oh, blah, or they don't question their body types or wish they could fit into a certain dress or jacket. But it's not. Me, myself, and I've met people, we're in the industry to look a certain way, but we're some of the most insecure people, or we have a lot of insecurities. So we have this dilemma where every day women and men are reaching for something to think that if I just look like that, I would be happy. I'd never question my body, I'd never feel insecure, but it's not true. So we're kind of running after something that we can't attain. And I'm in a really difficult situation because in a beauty queen, you're literally judged. I mean, all of us are judging each other, judging social media, but I'm actually on a stage getting judged by judges.
There's a point system, right?
Exactly. And the criteria isn't just beauty of face, but it is an aspect. It's also body, it's how you perform, it's how you project yourself. Your interviews and your advocacies are also an aspect. But traditionally, beauty queens are shed in a very bad light. And to tell the truth, that is an aspect of beauty pageants. In fact, before joining a beauty pageant, I was a model, but upon joining beauty pageants, I started to get, and I have a lot of support on social media, don't get me wrong, but also I do have haters. And some women or men think that confidence is something that some girls or some people just have, but even though I may look confident strutting in a two-piece on stage, there are days when I'm so nervous or I just feel like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Confidence is something that's not defined on how I feel, and I just think it's important for everyone to know that. But it's also, if you're put in a job or a situation that you are being judged, don't limit your perception to that. Like, there may be people judging you, but that's not all you are. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm in a beauty pageant, and even though I'm being judged, I don't define myself as just a person being judged. Does that make sense?
Yes. Amen.
Like, I go out of my borders in my own time. I have advocacies. I'm a spokesperson for Love Yourself Philippines and for Young Focus, which is based on education. And I push myself past those boundaries because I don't want... Oh, there goes my earring. I don't want other people to define what I am and what I do. even though I'm in a label of a beauty queen, I'm not going to limit myself to that just because that's my title. So I think we all need to do that in our walks of life. Don't take that definition of someone else and so easily put it on you. Because there's always going to be people who are going to throw their judgment on you. Just know also that they don't know you personally, so why would you take their comment personally?
Sarah, you were... Actually, I want to point out that right now there's a proliferation of brands trying to align themselves with women empowerment, and She Talks Asia often gets approached. But what we do is we don't just say yes, we actually try to understand whether the intentions are pure or not, right, Catriona?
I think just adding on that, I think it's wonderful that the level of awareness nowadays is at an all-time high. I don't think people have ever been so acutely aware of their effects on other people, on brands, on everything that influences us. So I think it's wonderful. I'm being attacked by a beetle.
It's also a fan of yours.
In the circle of, well, my industry, I guess you could say, is beauty pageants. It's what people popularly know me by, but I'm constantly trying to redefine what a beauty queen is. Here in the Philippines, we have such a different perspective of beauty queens than in other countries. So I'm constantly pushing myself, either when I'm talking to someone and I hear like, oh, being a beauty queen is so easy, all you do is stand there and wave. I like to give them my heel and be like, here, give me a walk and a twirl, no char. But I want to show that there's so much more, because beauty queens, we're empowered women. One, in the sense that we're able to put ourselves in front of the public in the way that we do, because we're in one of the most scrutinized, judged arenas I think there is. And two, I think we're given the opportunity to have a voice for something. But the sad thing about it is that, for example, me, I'm really close to my advocacies that I've been doing for 3 years now. Sometimes when I'm voicing out how passionate I am about it, people will have the thing of saying, oh, but that's because you're a beauty queen. There's this stigma or this pre-conceptualized perception of what I am and why I do the things that I do, but I'm constantly trying to challenge that and constantly trying to make myself relatable, because a lot of people think that beauty queens are like these Barbies that, go out of the house and wake up this way and don't get sore feet when we walk around in 6-inch heels all day. It hurts. And yeah, I'm just constantly trying to, inject that into conversation, show it through what I do, trying to redefine what the title beauty queen means.
My first tip would be, mainly I'm talking about social media, because I think personally that's the media that I ingest the most frequently. Know how much effort goes on behind the scenes to make a beautiful picture. Because it's so easy to see a beautiful woman in really beautifully styled clothes with nice lighting, having a holiday in Paris with a beautiful flat lay of food. And it makes you feel like it's like saying that she's gonna eat that whole thing and she still looks like that. But you wouldn't believe there might be a team of 2 or 3 people, with a light, with camera, with editing software to make that moment look effortless. So I would really urge you guys, don't compare your unfiltered reality to the filtered world of social media, because you're always gonna fall short. I just know how much effort goes into that messy bun. Or that no makeup. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. And my second tip, judgment in the form of hate comments or mean comments that you might experience in person to person, they will always hurt. No matter how confident you are, no matter how much you love yourself, it's still hard to take. And, that's completely okay. You can be affected, but don't let it have that lasting effect on you. Don't let it question yourself. It hurts, but don't let it really permanently hurt you, if that makes sense. Filter it. Filter it through your respect for yourself, knowing how talented you are, knowing your strengths. Filter that hurtful comment.
Anyone can answer. answer, but I would really love to hear from you, Miss Catriona. So, first of all, I'm not really sure. I tried to Google it, but time did not allow. So, are there any physical qualifications in joining Binibining Pilipinas and Miss Universe? For example, in height, in waist, and all that. And second part is, what do you think those qualifications or rules say about our perception of or concept of beauty as a society? And third part, most important part is, what's your take on that? Do you think it should be changed? Do you think it should be modified? Modified, yes, or should it stay the same?
Catriona, this is your practice for Miss Universe in November, by the way.
I have my questions. So in Binibining Pilipinas, there is an age requirement. You can only be from 17 to I believe 27. You're not allowed to have been previously married or divorced or have had birth. And that's it. There's no you must be from this weight to this weight or this, height pala. You can't be shorter for Binibini than 5'5". So there's no weight requirement, there's no waist measurement, there's no anything like that. I think it's not really that inclusive as it could be, because just to say that a woman can't represent her country because she's given birth or she's been married, I think you can still be a spokesperson and a representative. However, I do see a point of the organization. If that you were to have a young child, how could you travel for a year and give your whole heart and soul and energy to being a representative of the brand, but still look after your child? So I get from the organization's point of view why that is a requirement. Do I think it should change? I mean, there's been quite controversy this year because for Miss Universe, the first ever transgender will join as a competitor. I think it is a step into the right direction for inclusivity, and I know that a lot of people don't agree. People like to say, Miss Universe was made for women. I completely understand that. But we have to understand, because a lot of people are putting their hate and frustration on this topic on Miss Spain herself, which I don't think is right, because she's done everything that she had the right to do. Miss Spain organization allowed her to join, knowing full well that she was a transgender woman. So she's gone through every process, every judging, to earn the right to represent her country, just as I have to represent mine. So I think there is a lot of awareness, and beauty pageants, people are wanting to see a representation of everyone. That's why I love that in 2016 we had a plus-size girl, Miss Canada, strutting her stuff on Miss Universe, and I think that was such a positive message, because I think it really showed not only the organization but the audience itself, like, wow, I love her, look at her confidence. Not to say that, I don't think she promotes being unhealthy, but she exuded this sass and this energy, and I think that was amazing to see that. And for, if there's young women or young men to see that and be like, wow, maybe one day I want to be as confident as her. So, beauty pageants, we are limited because it's a beauty pageant. And just like a job, there are requirements. But I think that as long as it doesn't stop you or hinder you from being a spokesperson, from being able to, get up and go for a year and completely give your energy and soul and everything to being in that role for the organization, I think why not? If you can effectively do that job, which being a titleist is essentially a job, why not?